Hi, I'm Bart Hanson, the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
Okay, yeah, so this is a 1-3 hand. It's at Rivers Casino.
Okay.
It's a 1-3, 100, 300 min-max. So the villain in the hand is a reg, is a younger player, and he's just sitting down, like literally just taking his chips out of his rack
Okay.
as the cards are being dealt. So it's the first hand that is being dealt. He's under the gun, makes it 15, gets a caller in between. I have about 360, 370, 365. I'm in the low jack. I call with ace of diamonds, 10 of diamonds.
Okay. So this guy opens like an early position. You call with ace of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, right?
He's under the gun.
He's under the gun. Okay. Ace of diamonds, 10 of diamonds to 15, right? Is that about the standard open?
Yeah, it's fairly standard at this table. I mean, whether he knows or not, I mean, it was a pretty active table. So, like I said, he's just sitting down. But 15 is pretty standard for the room, I guess I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, so he opens under the gun, 15. There's one caller, and then I call the low jack with ace 10 of diamonds.
Okay.
Now there are two other callers. The button and the big blind also call.
So the button and the big blind call.
Correct.
So we're looking at it 5 ways. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
About 75 in the top pre-flop.
Okay.
And I have about 365. Okay. The flop comes out 10 of spades, 9 of spades, 5 of hearts.
10 of spades, 9 of spades, 5 of hearts. Okay.
Yep. Big blind checks, and the under the gun villain, that's 40.
Okay.
There's one fold, and I call with top pair, no redraw.
Okay.
All right. Now the other two players fold, so we're heads up.
All right. So the pot's 75, and the guy bets $40. You're 365 effective. He bets $40 on 10, 9, 5, and he's betting into 4 people.
With 300 effective, yeah, he's got 300.
All right, he's got 300. So he's betting into 4 people. I imagine that some people make c-betting errors at 1-3 where they just feel like they're just going to bet and they don't know why they're betting, regardless of texture. So I have no problem with your call, obviously, but and it's good that no one else called behind, so you don't have to worry about that. So it looks like the pot's about 155 now.
That's what I got. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the turn to 4 diamonds. Basically a brick.
Okay.
Okay. Now he bets 100. Okay.
Okay.
So this decision is a little bit tougher because now he's betting again. However, if I'm in his shoes, it almost seems like it's easier now that we're heads up, to bet his opponent off the hand. So nothing really changes too much on the turn as far as the board texture. So I decide to call again. Okay.
Right. So you think he might be barreling off? Obviously he could have spades or something like that.
I think he's got a lot of ace highs, and he could have spades. Who knows? But he could even have a worse top pair. He could have a hand like Jack 10.
Sure. No, that makes sense. And I think I would have played it like up until this point here. So he's got about maybe 150 left, something like that, and the pot's 355. If I'm doing this correctly.
Yes, pot is 355.
Yep.
Okay, now the rivers is where I have my question. Okay, so the pot is 355. The rivers is 6 of hearts. Again, pretty much a blank unless I have 7, 8. Unless one of us has 7, 8. Okay. Now he checks. Okay.
Okay. So that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah,
this is interesting at 1-3. This is a good little hand here because and again, we've got a couple of hands at 1-3, and occasionally I'll play 5-5 with a 1K cap while I'm waiting for 5-10, And we don't get to do I don't get to do as much commentary as we used to do back in the day. I don't know if you've watched Live at the Bike ever, but
Yeah, I do.
we used to do smaller games, so I would see a lot of my material, especially some of the older stuff, got developed from me, seeing these commentary, and I'd be like,
Mhm.
well, I see this spot happen a lot. So,
Yeah.
the issue becomes like, how often is he checking here, with an overpair just because he doesn't
Mhm.
want to play one pair for value, in
Right.
this spot, he's just not good enough. The
Mhm.
other thing too is that if he does have ace high, like what is he calling with? Like, is he ever calling with ace high? Is he calling here with worse? Basically, is the question, right? Um,
And that is my question.
so this is a function of. So let's try to think this through. I mean, it's a function of how often. See, your hand definitely looks like a draw, right? Now you could have
Yes.
7-8. I would have liked to have seen the river come like an offsuit deuce or something like that. That
Yeah.
totally would have
I
been.
mean, in a perfect world, yeah.
But you can have 7-8, but because people, just like I talked about with the last guy, people at 1-3, they don't go thin. Like you're never like if I was in your opponent's spot and I checked and you shoved, like I would never think you're gonna show up with ace 10. So if I have king 10 or queen
Exactly.
10, if I have king 10 or queen 10, I think that you have a monster hand or nothing. I think you probably would raise sets and stuff on the turn. So
Hmm.
this would look to me like it's 7-8, or you've got a busted spade draw or a busted two-way
Queen
draw.
Jack.
Yeah, and I would call a lot with a 10. So
Yes.
the question
So
becomes, but then you look the other way and you say, well, is he checking to check call with aces, kings, queens, and jacks? You've got 6 combos of jacks, 6 combos of queens, 6 combos of kings. One, two, three,
well,
four.
then there's also some underpairs in there too, because if he thinks that I'm taking that line, that if I'm shoving the river with a hand like Queen Jack, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if my hand looks like a busted draw, could I potentially get value from ace high? Could I potentially bet there, bet all in, and have him hero call me with ace king? You know what I mean? Or pocket eight.
Well, the question I have. See, I don't know how often pocket eights bets on the flop like into all those people. But the thing is that like if I was playing higher, that was the other thing I was going to get to. If I was playing higher, you actually can get more value in a spot like this if you're playing at a higher level because people will call you with ace high. I don't know how often
Mm-hmm.
people call you with ace high here um, at 1-3. So that's what I'm a little bit concerned about. And then it's a question of how often is he opening, like if is he opening king 10, queen 10, jack 10? Are they offsuit? Like if he's opening like an offsuit king 10, well, there's 8 combos of king 10 left. There's 8 combos of queen 10 left.
Mm-hmm.
Again, jacks, queens, and kings. There's 6 of those. It's probably pretty close here, and it would come down to how often is he going to call with the ace high or going to show up with a worse hand. I mean, I love the bet here. I just don't know at
No.
1-3 if you're going to get heroed by ace high. That's my issue.
Well, first of all, I actually kind of was dismissing jacks or queens because I felt like he would have bet much bigger on the flop,
Hmm.
out of position, multi-way on a wet board.
Yeah.
So I was kind of dismissing that, one way or another. But I ended up checking back. But I kicked myself later because he announced ace high. I turned over my hand and I was good. And I thought about it. I took a little break and I thought about it and I was like, I wonder if that would have been a spot where I could have gotten some value from ace high. That's why I
Well,
wanted to
remember
call
though,
again.
if you heard the previous caller that I just did,
I did, yeah.
if he's got I don't know what ace high he has. Let's say he's got spades, right? Say he was
Yeah.
betting with like ace king of spades, ace queen of spades, right? He should never, especially if he's got like ace queen of spades in his hand, he
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't call your bet at the end. Because
Because
like what do you
he
have?
blocks my bluff, right?
Yeah, what do you have here that's a bluff? And the thing
Right.
is the way that the board is run out, if he's got ace queen of spades in his hand, like I'm trying to figure out a hand that you have that's spades that doesn't have a pair in it. Deuce 3 is a straight. 7-8 is a
Mm-hmm.
straight. It would have to be like specifically like Jack 8 or Jack 7. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
hero call for 2 combos, specific combos, it's a big stretch. So he shouldn't really call. So
But
I mean
that's
that's
only
the
if
other
he
thing.
has the spade in his hand, though, right?
Um,
What if he's got ace king of hearts or something?
yeah, I mean it's possible. I don't know if he should be firing flop and following. Someone just said king jack of spades, and that's another one too. Jack
Yeah.
8, king jack of spades, but that's a very very narrow range to call somebody
Yeah.
down here with a nut flush draw. I like the idea.
Yeah.
I definitely like the
Yeah.
idea. I think
I
that
was.
I think that if this was somebody who was let's say that instead of the preflop raiser in this configuration, it was the preflop raiser checked, somebody in the field bet, and you decided to call, right?
Yeah.
And you arrived at this river, and the field player checked. You would definitely bet here for
Right.
value, right? Like it would be a no-brainer with ace
Right.
10.
Right.
They
Right.
have to
Right.
bet for value
Because
they're going to have a 10.
They're going to have a 10, or they could have other. They could also have lesser draws. I mean.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, I think it's
that's
just more of a function of that they have a 10 and they're checking. Like, if a field player bets the flop and bets the turn and checks the river to you, well, you know that they don't have a set and they don't have an overpair either, right? Because they're not the preflop raiser. So you have the nuts with ace 10, right? So this is just a little bit different because of the early position configuration, and sometimes people check to pick off a bluff. But I wouldn't be too hard on yourself here. I think it's probably pretty close, and it just comes down to really how often is someone calling with the ace high at the end at a 1-3 game with the pot being this large, you know?
Well, it would have been sweet.
You don't know if he would have called you though, right?
It would have been great. It would have been great. I think if I would have shoved there and he called me with ace high.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's one of those spots where I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, am I missing value here? But if you say it's close, I mean, maybe it's close.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Anyways, thanks for the call, Pittsburgh. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA100. Click on the link right there.